Hi everybody, today we are going to be watching another video on elimination, but this one's going to kind of kick it up a notch. So before we do that, I want to just quickly review what we know about elimination and how to solve for that system of equations. First of all, when you are given a system of equations like this right here, when you've used the elimination method in the past, you've looked for opposites when it comes to the variables. So notice here we have a positive 2x and we have a negative 2x. Well, those are opposites, which means they would zero out. And then we would go ahead, there we go, we would go ahead and solve for y. Remember, we zero out the x's, we combine our terms, we get 4y equals 24, divide both sides by 4, we get y equals 6. Then our last step would be to go ahead and substitute that value for y into either one of the original equations, and that would help us to solve for x. So if we put it into the second equation, we get negative 2x plus 6 equals 4, subtract 6 on both sides, we get negative 2x equals negative 2, divide by negative 2 on both sides, and x equals 1. So right here, the solution to the system of equations is 1, 6, and that would mean only one solution works for this system of equations. So now we're going to check out some harder problems so we can see how to solve those. This is where we kick it up a notch here. It says find the solution to this system of equations right here. Now, the first thing that you are directed to do is to look for opposites. Notice in this system of equations, when I'm focused on either the x's or the y's, neither of them allow me to zero them out. So that means that I actually have to take a new step in solving this system of equations. How might you ask we do that? Well, right now, if I look at the 4 in the x and the 2 in the x, and then the negative 2y and the positive y, is there a number that I could multiply either one of these by to get to the opposite of what I need? Let me explain that. I'm focusing right now on this negative 2y. And the reason why is because I already have the opposite sign here, a positive y, but I need this to become a 2y. Well, what do I multiply that by to become a 2y? Well, I'm going to multiply it by the number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and I take this entire equation and I multiply it by 2. And the reason why I'm doing that is to make this y value opposite of the negative 2y in the first equation. So let's go ahead and do that. You all know how to distribute. We have 2 times 2x, which is 4x. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Then we multiply 2 times the positive y, and we get a positive 2y, which is great because that's what I want. And then we take the 2 and we multiply it by a positive 6, and we get a positive 12. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and I've rewritten that equation, and I'm going to write the first equation now right above it. So remember, now that I've multiplied every single term by a positive 2, it has created the opposite y values, which is awesome. Let me change colors here. So these y's will now cancel out because negative 2y plus 2y is 0. Everything else I just combined together. 4x plus 4x is 8x. 4 plus 12 is 16. I divide both sides by 8. And what's awesome is I've already got the first part of my solution, which is x equals 2. All right, now it's just the same process that you've learned before. I go back to my original equation. You can choose either one. I'm going to choose the second one, 2x plus y equals 6. And I'm going to now substitute in the value of x in for x in the equation. So instead of 2 times x, it's 2 times 2 plus y equals 6. And I do want to specify the reason why I chose the second equation is because it just looks easier to work with than the first one. So that just tends to be the reason I do that. 2 times 2 is 4 plus y is 6. Some of you can do this right in your head, but if you can't, you can always subtract 4 on both sides. And you get a value of 2. So y equals 2. Well, isn't that funny? I now have a solution to the system of equations, and that is 2, 2. Very good. One solution, 2, 2 is the only one that will work. Get your paper ready because you're going to try the next one on your own. We have 3x minus 4y equals negative 5, 5x minus 2y equals negative 6. Notice there are no values of x's or y's that I can zero out. There are no opposites. So here is what you need to do. You're going to stop the video. You are going to try to solve this system of equations using elimination. Remember, you have to find a number that you're going to multiply either the first equation or the second equation by to make opposites. I'm going to give you a hint. Focus on the y's. Figure out, what do I multiply a negative 2 by to become the opposite of a negative 4, which would be a positive 4. Think of that. Good luck. Pause the video and try. Okay, hopefully you focused on these y values, your negative 4y and your positive 2y. The reason why I'm trying to focus on those is because if we can make that second one a positive 4y, the y's would drop out or zero out. So let's see how to do that. Negative 2 times what value gives me a positive 4? Well, a negative times a negative is a positive, and negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So I'm going to multiply the entire equation by negative 2. Now, remember to distribute the negative 2 to each term inside the parentheses. Once you do, this is what you should end up with. Your original equation of the first one, which is 3x minus 4y equals negative 5. And then after distributing, you're going to end up with negative 10x plus 4y equals 12. Right away, we can zero these y's out, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Now I can do 3x minus 10x, which is a negative 7x because I have more negatives than positives. And negative 5 plus 12 is a positive 7 because I have more positives than negatives on that one. Now it's a one-step equation. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 7 to get x by itself. I get x equals negative 1. And the first part of my solution is done. Now I have to do some substituting. Remember, I just picked the simpler equation. The first one looks simpler, so I'm going to go ahead and write that one. I have 3x minus 4y, excuse me, equals negative 5. I substitute the x value in. So now I have 3 times negative 1 minus 4y equals negative 5. Now I'm hoping you are checking your work. I'm hoping your work is the same as this. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 minus 4y equals negative 5. I'm going to add 3 to both sides because we have solved two-step equations over and over. I get negative 4y is equal to negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. This is where you get nervous. I'm dividing both sides by negative 4. Oh boy, negative divided by a negative is a positive. 2/4 simplifies to 1/2. Do not get nervous. We have worked with fractions before. Our one solution is negative 1 1/2. I hope you got it. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.